So we have a lot to cover today. I want to take you on the journey of me building my barndominium, kind of show you where it all started, where I'm at right now, and where it's going in the future. Just to kind of put it in perspective, about 6 months ago, I decided to build my own house. I wanted to wait until lumber prices were at an all-time high, there was a supply chain shortage, and contractors are next to impossible to find. Perfect time to build a house, right? Well, that's where I'm at. So yeah, 6 months ago we started and kind of started putting everything together, looking for land. What I realized pretty quickly is there wasn't really a piece of land available in North Texas that met my criteria. So what I ended up doing is taking a 19-acre plot that we own, selling myself off 1 acre of it, and starting the process of transferring that over through the county and getting everything checked out so I could start building. Well, once that process started, it was time to start designing, right? So I knew I wanted 2 different things. I knew I wanted a house, didn't really care too much about the size of the house, but figured something that had some good resale value was important. But most importantly, I wanted a shop. I wanted a really big shop. Those are the 2 criteria that I had. Started with a ton of different designs, pouring over the internet, looking for all different kinds of stuff through Pinterest and websites and whatever else. And really started putting stuff into SketchUp to figure out what I wanted to do. Just really blocky kind of layouts initially. Did I want this all in one building? Did I want it 2 stories? Did I want it 1 story? Did I want it in 2 separate buildings? And what I ended up deciding is really 2 separate buildings made the most sense for me. And what that allowed me to do is create a space that was separate yet combined. And the way that I did that is these 2 buildings are kind of next to each other at an angle, and in between it there's this pretty decent sized breezeway that will be my true entertaining area, and I'm super excited about it. So I got the design kind of roughly done and went and met with a building contractor or metal building erector that I'd worked with in the past. Sat down with him in mid-June, kind of said, hey, pencil me in for October. That was the first time he could get to me. He said, yeah, cool dude, gotcha. So got the metal building guy lined up. Next step was to get the designs into the metal building company, the steel company, so they could start processing it, because he told me, man, steel is just super far out right now. Expect a minimum of 6 weeks and probably a whole lot longer to get the steel in for your house. Started that process, contacted a concrete guy that I've worked with in the past, fantastic dude. Got him all lined up to come in a couple of weeks before the metal building guy was supposed to show up. I don't know where that process got mixed up with the metal building guy, but I just couldn't pin him down. So I kind of went rogue on it and went on my own and ended up finding my own place to get the steel from and doing a ton of research, trying to find another contractor. Honestly, to put it kind of show where it's at, I was pouring concrete on the slab and I still hadn't decided who was going to build this building yet. That was a little nerve-wracking. That was like the first major struggle that I've reached so far. And there'll be plenty more coming, but that was the first major thing. Rewind a little bit, got the concrete guy lined up, got everything set up, needed to get out to the land and clear it because it was full on jungle before. So rented a forestry mulcher and went out there and just went to town for a week. Had it for 5 days, and I cleared about 5 or 6 acres around the property. I spent the first 2 days on my actual 1 acre piece of land, and then the next couple of days just kind of clearing out a road down to the creek that goes to the lake, and a couple of cool areas that I thought were beautiful. Then once I got all that done, met with the contractor, the concrete guy again, and started going through the process of shooting the elevations on the land, seeing what we needed to do to get the pad ready. He brought his guys in and they ended up taking about 18 inches of dirt out of one side and taking it to the other side, and bringing in about 400 yards of select fill, building the pad up to where water's not going to run into it. Just really, really good solid work from these guys. And then came in with the pier truck, dug the piers down about 14 feet, I think 12 piers on each building, plus a couple more for the porches and some specialty stuff that I wanted to do. And then, yeah, started putting up forms and getting everything ready. Brought in a plumber that I'd worked with in the past, concrete guy said, hey, your plumber is asking for a plumbing diagram. Can you get one? I'm like, yeah, absolutely, no problem. What's a plumbing diagram? So jump on Google, start researching that and trying to figure out how to design the rough-in plumbing for the plumber so he knows what he's up against, and think about all the things that I wanted. You know, it's like, it's concrete. It's literally like you cannot change it once it goes in, or you really shouldn't at least. So got all the plumbing in, I came in, I did the electrical work myself, which is something I'm pretty comfortable with. And then we poured concrete last week. So that's pretty exciting. That's kind of like the, you know, Cliff Notes version of where I'm at right now. And now it's a matter of taking those next steps. My metal building guy, the erector, he's set up to come in about 2 weeks from now, just after Thanksgiving. Then once he's done, I'll come in. We're going to do standard metal building on the shop, and then a more traditional 2x6 framing on the Barndo. So metal post and exterior, bit 2x6 framing so I can get all the windows in. If you kind of see my plan back here behind me, you can see I got a ton of windows. That's actually my current challenge, is getting a window schedule submitted to where I can get some windows ordered. They're like 14 to 16 weeks out on windows right now. So again, yeah, I'm gonna have this building sitting here ready to go except for windows in, because of the timeline and supply chain on windows. I did get it all in the other day to 2 different companies to get bids, got my first bid back, had a mild heart attack when I saw the quote. And it's really, the windows aren't crazy expensive. They're expensive, don't get me wrong, especially when you have this much glass. But what's nuts, what's absolutely nuts, is some of the doors that I want. Well, one specific door is 14 feet wide by 8 feet high. Yeah, that's like half the window budget for that one door. So I have to go back to the drawing board and figure out a different solution there. Anyway, you know, once these guys start building the building, it'll go up pretty quick. Get the 2x6 framing done, the interior framing done, then it's back to the trades again to get plumbing and electrical all taken care of, and then start working on the insulation stuff, really all the other finishing details. Make it sound really easy, right? So starting in June to November, which is what it is right now, 6 months to get to where I'm at, really working for about a month with the actual contractors out there, the subs out there. If I'm gonna be realistic about it, I'm gonna say it's gonna take another year from right now before this house is done. I hope that's not the case, but I'm just trying to be realistic and manage my expectations early on. We'll do another video and talk a little bit more about price and how I'm doing the specific things, but I just kind of wanted to give you a brief overview of my journey of building this barndominium and shop. And I really would love it if you followed along with me and checked out each step of the way. So that's kind of it. Check out the other videos to see the more specific stuff, like I said, and we'll go from there. Take care.